Oh, okay.
Pleasure.
How are you, my dear?
Welcome.
Very good. Thank you very much for being so.
We will have a lunch break from 12:30.
Kenya has now confirmed its position as a continental leader in e-mobility in terms of 2- and 3-wheel electric vehicles as well as buses. As we speak, 30 e-mobility companies, including such industry leaders as Kiri EV, Rome, Basico, Akrite, and Powerhive, all call Kenya home. At the same time, regional leaders like Amazon, which expanded into Kenya with US support, and Rivian, the US electric vehicle leader that operates safari vehicles in Kenya, will tell you that Kenya is indeed a very pleasant home. The Africa Climate Summit that we held a few days ago enabled Africa's leaders to mobilize effectively in defining a common continental position on climate action, which will shape our agenda in multilateral fora, including the United Nations General Assembly, which we are attending later this week, and the COP28 that is coming up in December. In addition to this, the summit reinforced Kenya's well-earned credentials as a leader in climate action, green transformation, and the commitment to align the global industrial decarbonization agenda with Africa's potential. Over 35,000 participants attended the summit, led by 25 African heads of state and governments and the UN Secretary General. One thing became undeniably clear: the future of green growth is Africa. We are working on smartphones to make sure that citizens from the comfort of their homes and villages can access government services. There remains significant opportunity to do more in fostering digital access and inclusion. As a matter of fact, it is possible for us in Kenya to leapfrog over more traditional ICT simply by keeping down the cost of smartphones. The possibility motivated my announcement early in the year that the government would collaborate with the private sector to roll out the first 1 million locally assembled smartphones to sell at only US $40. For technology to play its role. And just for your information, the factory is up and the first 20,000 units are out. For technology to play its role as the great equalizer, it must be supported through investment to become widely available, and working between government and the private sector is a necessity, if not an imperative. Kenya's high digital connectivity complements our people's entrepreneurship. In turn, this attracts venture capital to our economy. This is why Kenya defied a global slowing down of venture capital to record Africa's strongest growth in funds raised. According to the funding tracker, Kenya emerged second in venture capital funding, tying with Nigeria, whose population is 4 times ours, and handily beating Egypt and South Africa. The reason for Kenya's strong performance in attracting venture capital funding boils down to investor confidence, the knowledge that a startup that succeeds in Kenya is highly likely to scale the rest of Africa. As an example, M-Pesa, a homegrown, typical Kenyan solution, now operates in 7 countries, serving over 51 million customers. Venture capital flows to Kenya in large volumes is doing so because there is a conducive environment for innovators to test their products. Kenya's sizable youth population is ever hungry with new ideas, fresh innovations, and the fastest technology, and this makes our country a magnet for innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. We are unequivocally Africa's startup hub. Kenya is a wholly people-driven nation, state and economy. Our ability to compete with economies with superior resource endowments comes from the spirit of resilience of our people. At the heart of our entrepreneurial culture are the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of Kenyan people. The irrepressible energy of our people drives our country's overall robustness, and particularly our dynamism in technological innovation and beyond. We do not take this for granted, and investing in people is therefore a critical strategic priority for Kenya. One of the most